Thank you for participating in the Transfer Assessment Roundtable. We are excited to share with you data from a survey of students' expectations of John Jay, their self-perceptions, and their use of support resources. We administered this survey at the start of the fall 2021 semester as part of a larger project to explore the social and cultural aspects of the transfer experience and the alignment between student learning at community colleges and John Jay. These findings from this project will inform a range of student supports and interventions. On average, our survey questions were answered by 114 continuing students and 74 transfer students in both humanities and non-humanities majors. In all graphs, continuing students are represented by blue bars and transfer students are represented by orange bars. The y-axes of all graphs represent the percent of students surveyed. For continuing students, we specifically surveyed students with more than 60 credits who are enrolled in a 300-level Justice Core class. For transfers, we focus similarly on incoming upper division students. This is because we are particularly interested in how transfers navigate the 300 and 400 level course sequences that they need to graduate, and because many of our supports and interventions will build upon the CUNY Justice Academy model, which brings in humanities transfer students with junior standing. We asked students how they plan to use their degree program experience. A majority of students report an intellectual or occupational goal related to their major. Students indicate both an interest in securing a well-paying career, as well as one that permits them to explore, deepen learning, and act upon the justice mission of the college. We wanted students to identify what they consider the most important skills for success in their majors. Close, active, or critical reading, and analytical, argumentative, or persuasive writing are thought to be the two most important by continuing students and transfer students. By taking a closer look at our syllabi and assignments as part of this project, we can better understand how these broad skills contribute to academic success in the humanities majors. We can also unpack what these kinds of reading or writing entail in our majors more specifically. Based on the skills required in many gateway major courses, we asked students to describe their perceptions of their own abilities and preparedness in some common activities as they enter their upper division courses. Mostly aligned with just marginal differences, both continuing students and transfer students report fair confidence when it comes to conducting research and applying concepts to data. We'll ask you to reflect on similar questions as a part of our discussion about this project. Fairly confident continues to be the most common response in skills related to analyzing arguments or debates and persuasive writing. Because continuing and transfer students are essentially aligned in these skill-related questions, we could conclude that the skills gap between incoming transfer students and continuing students is that sometimes shared anecdotally is not necessarily the students' self-perceptions. When asked about the relationships they turn to for support in their courses and post-graduation planning, students replied with a mixed picture. About 1/3 of students do not feel they have faculty, academic advisors, or friends they can turn to for support. Of those who do feel they have these supports, a significant proportion only somewhat agree that they can access them. This suggests that these relationships might be somewhat tenuous or their level of engagement low. This would be another area of research for future improvements regarding students' use of campus support and strategies to support community engagement. Turning to post-graduation plans specifically, a large percentage of students report having discussed with professors how their major could be useful for their futures. However, a slightly higher proportion of transfer students reported having this experience at their community colleges than continuing students at John Jay, and there is still room for growth in this area across the board. Reinforcing this need for post-graduation planning supports, almost 70% of continuing students have never met with a career counselor at John Jay, while over 40% of transfer students report having met with one at their previous college at least once, and another almost 40% have done so more than twice. While we still see transfer students needing help with post-graduation planning, these responses suggest transfers have at least discussed career plans with counselors or advisors in the course of deciding to transfer, likely because of cohort support programs. This result may indicate that transfer students may have a clearly defined post-graduation goal in mind. Finally, when asked about the types of support students find most important, financial support unsurprisingly tops the list. Academic advising and career planning support, however, are among the highest responses as well. Interestingly, a higher proportion of continuing students than transfer students report that career planning supports are important to them, even though, as seen in the earlier slide, they access career counseling supports less frequently. This suggests there is room for more research and improvement here, whether continuing students are unaware of the resources available to them or are choosing not to use them for one reason or another. In your email, you will find a link to this form. Please fill this out and upload a copy of your course syllabus as well as one or two key assignments that carry significant weight. All submissions will be anonymized before being shared with the group for assessment. Please submit your materials by 12 noon on Tuesday, December 14th. Thank you so much.